The Pigeon and the Ant, a tale of kindness and courage. On a warm morning in a peaceful forest, the golden rays of the sun touched the rippling surface of a wide, slow-moving river. The river was the heart of the forest. It gave life to the plants, quenched the thirst of the animals, and was a favorite resting place for a gentle white pigeon named Pia. Pia loved to perch on a tall branch that bent gracefully over the river. From there, she could see everything. The fish darting below, butterflies fluttering over wildflowers, and tiny creatures bustling on the forest floor. She was kind and curious, always watching, always learning. One summer day, as she sat enjoying the cool breeze, something unusual caught her eye. On a flat rock near the riverbank, a tiny ant was struggling. His name was Anu, and unlike other ants, Anu was adventurous and sometimes a little reckless. He had come too close to the edge of the rock, curious about the shiny water. Before he realized, a strong gust of wind knocked him off balance. With a small squeak, he fell into the river. The current was stronger than it looked. Anu flailed his tiny legs, trying to reach the shore, but the water carried him further away. He sputtered, "Help! Somebody please help me!" But his voice was so small that no one heard, except Pia. From her branch above, Pia leaned forward and saw the ant's desperate struggle. Her heart filled with concern. "Oh no! That little one will drown if I don't do something quickly," she thought. Without wasting a second, she plucked a broad leaf from the branch with her beak and dropped it carefully into the river, just ahead of the ant. The leaf floated gently and reached Anu just in time. Gasping, he grabbed hold of the leaf. Slowly, the leaf drifted toward the riverbank. Exhausted but safe, Anu crawled onto the shore, his tiny body shivering but his heart bursting with gratitude. He looked up at Pia, who was still perched on the branch, and shouted with all his might, "Thank you, dear pigeon. You saved my life. I'll never forget your kindness." Pia smiled warmly. "Be careful next time, little one," she called down. "The river is not a safe place for such small feet." From that day on, a beautiful friendship bloomed between the unlikely pair. Anu often visited Pia, telling her stories of the underground ant tunnels and listening to her songs about the sky. They were different in size and in the way they lived, but they cared for each other. One afternoon, some weeks later, the forest was unusually quiet. The wind had stopped, the leaves were still, and even the birds were hushed. Anu was making his way through the grass to meet Pia at the riverbank. As he climbed up a small mound, something caught his sharp eyes. On the path ahead, hidden behind a bush, was a hunter. He carried a bow and arrow and was creeping silently, step by step, toward Pia's favorite tree. Anu froze. He saw where the hunter's gaze was fixed. Pia, who was singing happily on her branch, completely unaware of the danger. Anu's tiny heart raced. "Oh no, he's going to harm my friend," he whispered to himself. Without thinking about his own safety, he dashed forward with all the speed his 6 little legs could manage. He ran through the tall grass, slipping, stumbling, but never stopping. As he got closer, he saw the hunter raise his bow. The arrow was ready to fly. There was no time to shout a warning. Pia would never hear him in time. He needed another plan. In that moment of desperation, Anu remembered how Pia had saved his life. "I have to save her, no matter what," he thought. Quick as a flash, he climbed onto the hunter's foot and sank his tiny jaws into the man's ankle with all his strength. "Ouch!" the hunter cried, startled by the sudden pain. He jumped back, dropped his bow, and lost his aim. The arrow shot out of the bow but missed Pia completely, falling harmlessly into the river. Hearing the commotion, Pia flew up and saw the hunter clutching his foot. In the confusion, the hunter stumbled away, limping and grumbling, finally disappearing into the forest. When the danger had passed, Pia swooped down and found Anu panting, tired and still clinging to a blade of grass. "What happened? Was that you?" she asked gently. Anu explained everything, from spotting the hunter to biting him just in time. Pia listened, her eyes wide with amazement and gratitude. "You saved my life today, Anu," she said softly. "I helped you once, but you have shown me that true friendship means looking out for each other." From that day, their bond grew even stronger. The forest animals whispered about the brave little ant and the kind pigeon who had proved that even the smallest creature can be a hero. Moral of the story: One good turn deserves another. Kindness always comes back to you no matter how small you are. Even the tiniest friend can make the biggest difference.